buzz. And it says it was a pleasure being here with you. And I want to say good morning to those of you that has just joined us, or we've joined you on television. We say good morning to you. And so it's a pleasure being here with you. And I want to say a special good morning. My guest for the first half minute. I want to be. She's there waiting in the wings. Quite delightful to be part of this morning's conversation. Connie McQuilkin, wife, teacher, mother, the whole full slate. And this morning we'll be having a conversation with her. Good morning to you, Connie. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I am wonderful, thank you. It's good having you here, and thanks for having accepted our invitation to be part of this morning's discussion. No doubt COVID-19, we've all been thrust into it. It's not something that we ask for, and
Definitely not.
we didn't see it coming. We slept, we woke up, and there we were. COVID-19 is on our doorsteps, and it has undoubtedly changed our lives forever. That which we knew as the normal, as in your case, you woke up every morning, you hustled the children, you were off to the classroom, you came back home later on in the evening, you corrected some assignments, prepared a dinner, the regular things that an average mom and wife would, regular teacher stuff. But that has all changed. Now you've been introduced to e-learning in a more in-depth way, and I know note I said in-depth because it's not something that you necessarily quote unquote in the teaching profession that you're new to. It has been there for a while.
It has been. It has been.
It has been. But what I want for us to have one of those heart-to-heart conversations, honestly. The transition for you first as a teacher. We're not getting into your maternal roles yet. Talk first about the transition for you as a teacher from the classroom as it is, traditional classroom, to now having to function at home and still perform those daily duties.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say good morning to all the superhero teachers who have been doing this thing, and we've been trying our hardest to accomplish something that we were not prepared for. Being a teacher doesn't prepares you actually for a lot of things. This is just one of the other things that we have to do, and we're trying our best. Personally, I can say it's been very hard, and I'm a typical teacher. It's
Right.
not easy. We are accustomed to commanding the attention of our students. We're in front of the classroom. It's a bit difficult when you can't see them, they're not physically there with you, and you have to still be able to get their attention and get them to do what is necessary. Together with the fact that the children already know that no new work has to be done, therefore no new grades are going to be given.
Right.
So we no longer have the threat, well, I don't want to use threat, but to say it's coming on the test, or there's an exam for this. There's no exam for this. There's no test to come. So how do we get the children to pay attention? We use everything in our arsenal and we try our best. For me personally, it had been a bit difficult because the transition has been hard for me because, of course, this is something new and everything new brings a little bit of anxiety, that I need to get this done and I want to be as good a teacher as I've always been, or at least I believe I've always been.
Right.
And it's just difficult. You're not quite sure that you're getting to them, and you're not quite sure that you're actually getting what you want to do done, and you're not getting to all the students that you need to get to. We always say that the children that you really need, you don't see them. At a PTA, the parents and the children who do well, you see them first. But the children you really want to meet and you really want to see, that's the difficulty.
Let me ask you, because you kind of hinted to it in your initial discourse. You're in the classroom and you can read their facial expressions. You can read their body language. So if you say something, you can kind of, even without them responding, you can determine he or she doesn't understand. And you as a teacher, you're able to feel that.
Yes.
Those dynamics, how they are removed from you now. and you're saying you have to use all that's in your arsenal. I'm assuming you would have had to you've had to adopt a set of new tools in order to ascertain whether or not you're reaching them. What are some of those tools, and how effective are they?
Well, that's the thing. As much as we want to try, and we've all been trying so many things, we're still not quite sure how effective they are, because we check with them and they respond. And remember, this is remedial work. We're not doing anything new.
Right.
But part of our teaching, the major part of our teaching, is responding to them, to their feelings and how they feel today and what they're doing today. And that kind of connection is lost. All right. So we would have lost that connection. And with it, we're just realizing that that's the major part. That without that human connection, we've lost a lot. And a lot of the children, and we learn that and we know that, a lot of the children come to you to be with you,
right,
with the teacher. Not necessarily the maths and the French and the Spanish and the English.
Right.
They want to, the reason why they are learning, for a lot of them, they're not motivated intrinsically, like I need to do this. They're motivated because their teacher is telling them, let's go, let's get this done, we're going to work hard today. And that's absent.
I've heard cases where you've had preschoolers in particular, they're saying to mommy and daddy, "You're not my teacher."
Well, we hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And then we teachers hear children call us mommy.
Right.
They raise their hand and say mommy. We get accustomed to that.
How important, though, is that linkage, that relationship, separate and apart as it is from your ability to deliver? But how important is it when you juxtapose it in terms of the entire learning process?
Well, what we are realizing is that we took it for granted that this human touch was that important, all right? But what we are doing now, we are depending right now on all that has been before, for the relationships that we did have with them before, and use that now to encourage them. For all the many ways that we would have been part of the lives of these children, we can use that now and say, they would still listen to teacher. That's what I'm saying. To a certain extent, they would still listen to teacher because teacher is teacher, and because of the position that we hold in their lives. But that's not everybody, unfortunately. And we grieve not being able to meet with everyone. A lot of them through no fault of their own. All right. And then for another lot of them, through pure exhaustion. Some of these children are tired. They're tired with us.
Some of the children are tired, Lady McQuilkin, but I know you don't want to say it. But for the teachers, because we know even for that, and I want to highlight that as well, because very often the teachers, they go as the unsung heroes in our society.
Oh, definitely.
We hear talk, and you did greet your colleagues as superheroes. And you hear talk about the lawyers, the doctors, and all the other quote-unquote high-end profession. They said quote-unquote high-end profession.
Quote-unquote, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
but I always say,
you on that one.
I often say, it doesn't matter, at the end of the day, lawyer, doctor, priest, whatever you become, it started by the touch of a teacher.
Yep.
And that very often goes unrecognized. Let me ask you though, for you, the emotions that goes with it, given now that you now have to play the role, you have to satisfy the demands of your own class, your own students. But to the same token, you have your family's immediate needs that is right because everybody's home. How many kids you have? Children, sorry?
Well, I have 6 living with me now.
6 with you?
A 7th, yes. 7 in all.
So 6 with you. How do you play that juggling act? For you as a teacher.
By the grace of God.
Ah, come on. Grace of God. That's a political response.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, personally, what I do, scheduling.
Right.
I have to turn a true teacher at home. So I am a rigid scheduling at home because in a family where there are 6 children, no one could ever have enough devices to deal with all that has to be done. My colleagues are sending work for my children and I have to deal with it, So scheduling. I schedule the use of the the laptop. I have four to use one laptop, and the others have their other devices, and I
Right.
schedule. Yeah, and the four who is using the laptop is my laptop that I have to use also. So I
Mm.
schedule. I work early morning, late at night.
You work
They
24 hours.
work,
You work 24
well,
hours.
yeah, for the laptop use, I work 24 hours regardless. For
Right.
the laptop use, I work early morning before they wake up, and I work late evening after they finished. That's
Hmm.
when I do my work. During the day, I schedule 2 hours here, 2 hours there, 2 hours there. And together with that 2 hours, I have to be there with them. No parent sits idly by and just let their children, they shouldn't sit idly by and just let their children have their work to do. And of course, mommy is a teacher. Mommy, what is this? Mommy, come and explain that for me. Mommy, help me get, and that's what I'm doing.
Right.
I am a teacher at home. I am a teacher online.
How
You
effective
know,
is?
I'm
While you did say
horrific.
you said you have a schedule, but
Uh-huh.
do you are you able to stick to the schedule? Because I know, of course, you have the demands of your immediate family, and I know that you guys have a hectic regimen to deal with from the ministry's end.
Oh, yes.
Where they send you
Oh, yes.
guys, I mean, it almost seems like a daily assault on your teachers. Where they send you this,
Believe me,
that, this, that.
yes. I'm glad you used the word assault because that's how we feel. We feel assaulted.
Talk to me about that.
Because the problem with that, the problem with the problem with having all this work to do is a lot of clerical and administrative work. But you see, what people don't understand, we teachers do a lot of work. But the one thing that helps us psychologically, it's going to end. The
Right.
holiday is going to come. There's a there's a 1 day holiday. We have a 4 day week coming up. You know, that keeps us because you know at this point I'm working towards that. This is the third term. During the third term, we have exams. In a secondary school, exams start in the beginning of June. We
Hmm.
come to work, come to school, and we have about 6 weeks teaching and then revising for exams. But at the rate we are going, it seems as if there is no end to this, and that hurts psychologically, where you not seeing an end in sight.
And normally, and I'm assuming there's a psychological touch to I am going home at the end of the day. That
Oh
doesn't exist
yes,
now, does
yes.
it?
No, it doesn't exist. But you see, that's a big problem, and people don't really think about that. Everybody, you yourself, have a lag time between work and home. You leave work, you get on the bus, you travel, you have a half an hour at least
That's me
to
time.
change gears, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, you could change gears, so to speak. You could put the music loud on your radio in your car, and when you get home, you deal with home. We don't have that. We are on call 24/7. Our children, the ministry's demands, it just doesn't end. And psychologically, nobody needs to have to go through this.
Let
What
me.
I have
Mhm.
implemented, some days my children and I, we just don't do. And it's scheduled.
You didn't say that. You
We
didn't say.
decide we're not
You
doing
did
it.
not say that.
No, I told you I scheduled, but I didn't get to answer how if we keep to the schedule.
Right.
There are non-days. There are days when we're not doing anything.
And it,
Sca-
and,
I,
and it is not for lack of just being
no, it's not
delinquent.
laziness, No, no, no.
That's you. You
It's
literally.
care.
And you need to.
Yeah. I mean, it's not advised by
Right.
my superiors.
But it is what it
It's not
is.
advised, but it is what it is, and I make no excuses for that. There are days when I tell the children, okay, we're not doing anything today. We go outside and pick some plum, run around. Today is a non-day. And
Right.
they enjoy their non-day. They do nothing. Some of them literally would sit with their little gadget and play a game for the day, and I encourage it because tomorrow there's work to do. So they get days like that.
Hold your thoughts there, Lady McQuilkin. We're going to continue the conversation. It is 14 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. It's the sound of Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. In case you're just joining me, I'm here with Connie McQuilkin. She's teacher, wife. She carries the full slate, and we're speaking about coping in this COVID-19 period, the difficulties that goes with it. You said, Connie,
Uh-huh.
under the new regime as it is, the new system as it is, there is an addition of clerical work.
Yeah.
And I know they put this as going to say, well, you used to doing your is work that you're supposed to do. The new clerical duties that you have, was that part of your prescribed daily duties prior to COVID-19?
Definitely not. Of course not. This was not part of our duties. We, for example, we have to do e-learning data forms, address of students, etc. We have to get full data for the children. We are at home. Our registers are in the school. Some teachers have had to make calls. Call this one to call that one to call the other one to, to get this information. We are at home and this information is not with us. We have teacher profile forms. You need to get number of male students, number of female students in our different classes. We have to find that information. Every week we must report what we've done for the week, but we are accustomed to that part. All right. We need to for example, to report on who we have not seen and if we know if they have devices or not. We are the ones that have to find that information. Which child haven't been online with you, and do they have a connection? Do they have a phone? Is it live? Is it flow? I mean, really, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Let me ask you.
On Fridays we have a training, and at the end of the training we have to fill out a form to say how well the training was. I mean, it's a lot. And the thing is, if I know this form, this information is for Y, or this information is for X, I would know, okay, let me do this because it's for something. It's like, do it because I said it.
Right.
That kind of thing. And it's not, that's all right. That's all right. If I have a child, a 3-year-old, and I need to bring them somewhere, let's go, mommy said so. Okay, fine. I can tell my teenager that. Let's go. Mommy, why? And I explain because they are teenager. But you can't send me a million, and nobody says why we need this information. I mean, I understand that the OECS has to put together they have to decide on how they're going to function with the member states, etc. Tell me this. Don't just send form for me and say fill it up because I say fill it up. That's not good.
17 minutes on gone past the hour. We have to take a quick break, Lady McQuilkin. When we come back, though, I'm going to throw it at you. Do you get the sense that a lot of what's happening here is a case where the ministry is putting the cart before the horse, and now you teachers have to work miracles for them? Hold your thoughts to take a quick commercial break. It's the Sound of Classic in the Morning Time, Classic 105.5, 105.9. We take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you on the Mid-Morning Buzz. See it first on GBN. All the stories, from politics to industrial unrest. Tourism. Light it up. Light it up.
Station 2 Grenada.
Entertainment. Sports and culture.
Great shot there of Anderson Peters from Grenada, the Commonwealth Games bronze medalist.
See more on GBN, your most credible source for information. Nightly at 7.
Hi, I'm Francis Urias Peters. To really know who I am, you must look at the plays that I've written over the past 30 years, because they reflect hard work, discipline, and my inner beliefs. Now, these values were shaped by my earlier bringings, because I was always curious about my roots and my identity as a Caribbean man. Now, I'm a good listener, and K105 has always been a great source of education and entertainment.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue.
Apologies, because they have to fast track on you. There is a press conference that we did not make allocations for. The Conference of Churches read that National Day of Prayer on Sunday, and we need the press. We need Jesus now more than ever, though. So we're going to wrap in the next 5 minutes. But before we took the break, I did ask you regarding what is potentially seen as the cart going before the horse, whereby information that you probably would have deemed that the ministry should have gathered before, so as to ascertain where children are at, where you the teachers are at in terms of your needs, the needs of the children. But now I get the sense that that's not done, and now the teachers are forced to collect all of those data on behalf of the ministry.
Teachers, it's not that we don't want to teach and we don't want to help and we don't want to do these things, because we understand the fact that we're here means that we love the children, we love our jobs. It's not the money. It's not good. You know, we know that. All right. But what I wish is that they would soften the rhetoric a little bit. You know, understanding that these are our own devices we're using. This is our own internet that we're using. You know, that we are making a serious sacrifice here. But people soften the rhetoric and understand that, you know, baby steps. We'll get there. We're not all at the same place. That we all are working. We're not all at the same place. For some people, this is simple, no problem. But not many of us. All right. So if they would take the baby steps, be more flexible, because soften the rhetoric, knowing who we are and what has transpired before, we would all be a little bit more satisfied.
Because there's some teachers that I've spoken with that have intimated that they feel sort of as though they've been bullied into this, and sometimes they feel threatened that if they don't satisfy the need of the ministry, some maybe because they have not received their full status, their permanent status, and all of that, they figure, well, Lord have mercy, if I don't comply, God knows what's going to happen to me.
Well, there's always that, because we have many teachers who have worked for a lot of years, 5, 8, 10 years, and they are not yet permanent, which is ridiculous. That's me personally.
Right.
I think that's ridiculous. If I'm working for 10 years, that means you need me. Therefore, I should be part of the permanent. But there's always that concern that if I do not comply and if I do not do, then this. But recently there was a meeting with the ministry, and the union had set out some information from what the ministry has said, and what they are saying is that they want to be flexible, that they are asking for this kind of flexibility, and they understand that teachers, some of us do not have the necessary qualifications, the necessary devices, the amount of time with children and all. So let's see if we can take them at their word. I'm willing to do so, because I think now more than ever, an amount of flexibility is necessary and important.
Indeed, a measure of flexibility and understanding on both parts that is shared responsibility as we go forward. We have to wrap, though, but I'm really hoping that you and I could extend this conversation beyond just today. We probably will have to do a follow-up with you to see how you're coping in the next couple of weeks. But let me just ask you, what word of advice, if you have to speak to your fellow colleagues, your fellow superheroes, what word of advice would you give to them as it relates to coping on a day-to-day basis with the demands of the ministry, the family, and the demands of your students?
What I would say to them is, do what you can. Do what you are able to do, what you are comfortable with. Despite the demands, you have your own self to take care of. So I would suggest to everyone, do what you can. I mean, we are teachers. Ensure that you do something. But do not feel threatened. Do not kill yourself out. This will end. We will go back in some form or fashion, and we will continue. But what's more important that I'd like to say to teachers is that whether we like it or not, we are heading towards digital teaching. Learn something new. Learn to do something new, something different. Because I saw a quote somewhere that said, computers will not replace teachers, but the teachers who know how to use computers may replace those who do not know how. So use the time if you have, learn to do something different and do what you can.
I think you've summarized this conversation quite well. At the end of the day, you literally need to put yourself in a position where you can be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Connie McQuilkin, we want to say thank you very much for taking a part from your busy schedule. I want you to say thanks. I hope you continue to do what you're doing with your kids, take care of the family, and continue to stay COVID-free.
All right, thank you, and to all my superhero teachers. Enjoy.
Thanks to all the superhero teachers. On behalf of Connie McQuilkin, she's saying do enjoy. It's about 5 minutes, not 5 minutes actually, 28 minutes gone past the hour. It did intimate to you that we were expected to have a conversation with Sylvan McIntyre from NADMA. However, we do have to have a break in programming, given that we need to make accommodations for a press conference that is set to start at 11:30, a press conference that is set to start at 11:30 by the Conference of Churches regarding that day of prayer that the Prime Minister hinted to in his national address on Sunday. Classic 105.5, 105.9 on the FM band. Of course, we take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll join the press conference at the ministerial complex.
The Grenada Food and Nutrition Council remind you to boost your immune system and give yourself a fighting chance against COVID-19. Consume foods that are rich in vitamin C, like fruits and vegetables. For example, oranges, grapefruit, mandarin, lemon, spinach, cabbage, and tomatoes. Vitamin B6 and folic acid that is found in chicken, turkey, fish, grain foods like